Se non entra la prima sono dolori.
La presenza agonistica di Sara Errani.
Per l'italiano storico questo incontro.
Match point Nadal.
Game 7 match. Federer.
So this is MTO Podcast, and I'm Giulio Gasparin.
I'm Satar.
As usual, we are here. We are here at the tournament, and we promised you a special guest star yesterday. Was it yesterday?
It was yesterday, all day yesterday, yeah.
Oh yeah, because we got doubles yesterday. I mean, like double podcasts. Well, we finally got this special guest.
We did. We were very lucky. We put in for Andrea Petkovic, who came out to see us, even though she just lost a 3-setter to Makarova.
She did, and well, some of the girls are a bit upset after her loss. Well, she had many reasons to be happy, and that's why it was such a great interview.
The main reason she had to be happy was halfway through her match. The announcement came out that Victoria Azarenka sadly had to withdraw with a knee injury from Wimbledon. Her withdrawal bumps everybody up, including Andrea, who was world number 34 and as such just outside the seedings.
And well, now she's seated, even though she's said to be quite resigned by the idea of being as seated, actually happy about it. So maybe it wasn't as happy. I don't know.
Listen and you decide.
And well, but the first thing is that she came in talking about asthma.
The first words we actually heard were her like, "I don't have asthma," and we were sat there like, "Okay, that's good to know." But you all will be clear.
It will be clear soon. I think that being such a great interview as it is, we decided to keep it natural. So everything you will be hearing is just a stream of consciousness of these 70 minutes we had together.
Pretty much.
So sit down and enjoy.
You have asthma? I'm like, no. But it's in my files that you have asthma. I don't have asthma. You're using a respirator? No, I'm not using a respirator. I never have used a respirator.
Then they're going to be like, but you should. You've got asthma. That's really dangerous.
And I really, because they apparently on grass it's more dangerous, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't have it. I don't have it. I'm fine.
I just have this vision of you like telling this doctor, but I don't have one. But you should use your respirator. Anyway.
Oh my god.
So, commiserations, but congratulations
Thanks.
on the Wimbledon seeding.
Yeah, I just read that. How is that possible? Vika, right?
Yeah, Vika pulled out.
It was in the middle of your
Match?
your second set, yeah.
That's why I tanked. No, I'm just going no. You
You finished it quickly. I didn't have a chance to sort of check back.
I had a chip in my ear, and when they told me you're seated, I just kind of threw it. No.
What happened in the last set?
The thing what happened was, I will tell you, she played really, really well. She didn't miss a ball anymore, and then I thought I would have to change the rhythm.
Right.
And it didn't go so well because I tried to go to the net or play a drop shot or play a slice, and I sort of confused myself with it, and I started to miss much more. But I think that was the only way to kind of still be able to win that, because I could see she was in her zone. I was trying to throw her off and get her out of there, but I made too many mistakes with it. I think I should have either started earlier when it was still in the kind of heat of everything, or just went for my typical game. But I think that was maybe a little tactical mistake for me.
I mean, we talked obviously at length now about this love affair with the grass and how long it takes to actually sort of develop that rhythm. And I was like noticing today that there was a lot of uplift to your strokes just for good, accurate placement. How do you feel that you've actually sort of settled in, given the problems we had in Birmingham and the problems we've had here too? Yeah,
but I mean, I don't know. I feel like I'm playing really well on grass. I felt like I played well against Suarez Navarro. It was a really tough game that could have went either way, and I felt like I didn't play as well here the first two matches, but I managed to win somehow with mental toughness. And for example, against Irani, when I was down 0-3 in the third, I made also some tactical changes, and that worked for me, going more to the net, changing the rhythm more, playing a few more drop shots. And today it didn't work for me, and I feel like, I can see why Katarina, I think her best surface is grass. I would say you can really tell, because she just has the perfect game for grass. First of all, the last times I beat her, I have much less trouble with her serve on hard courts, because it doesn't take the lefty effect so much.
Yeah.
and on grass here it's much tougher to return. And then she also, if you cannot change the rhythm against her, she's just so good. She just takes everything so early and plays so deep and flat, and it doesn't seem to come up here. So on hard I can change to the high at least, and I cannot do that on grass. But in general I feel like I'm playing well, and I don't really know. I always complained about grass. The problem what I don't like about grass, that's the only thing, and that was today, that showed today. If you lose your focus for 2 or 3 points, it can be over, the match can be gone, and I don't like that, because normally on hards and clay you can always get back into the match because it's a consistency that counts, and on grass you cannot allow that to yourself. If you lose your focus for 2 or 3 points, it's gone. And that was something that I probably always didn't like, but I'm getting used to it, you know. Life is in a blink of a moment.
What philosophy for Andrea? How ready do you feel now for Wimbledon? And how good do you feel actually to have nicked in the seedings? Because now there's going to be people that are like, oh.
Yeah. I already arranged myself with not being seeded, and I kind of like the idea of being an underdog for a change again, you know, and just kind of coming from the behind and making a splash, but no,
like
I'm
a kind of Jaws kind of thing. Like kind of Jaws kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. From in the dark, you know, like doom, 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 doom. Yeah. I already imagined myself as that dark kind of princess, but unfortunately, unfortunately/fortunately, I am seated. So we will see. You never know. You only can tell if the draw was good or bad afterwards. Sometimes I had horrible draws, and then I made. In Australia I had the most horrible draw. I had second round Venus Williams, third round Maria Sharapova, and I made the quarter, so you can't really complain about the draw afterwards. And I had good draws sometimes, and I lost early, so you can never really say. But I think the most important thing is that I feel really good about my game, and I know the grass in Wimbledon will be even nicer to play, so it's even a little easier probably than in Birmingham and here. And so I'm really looking forward to it, and I really have to say that Wimbledon grew in my heart with 2 things that happened. Once, they gave me a wild card as the only Grand Slam after all my injuries, and I really appreciated a lot to the main draw after I was top 10, and then I was injured for almost 2 years, and they were the only Grand Slam that gave me a wild card. So they will never. You know, I remember those kind of things. I'm old-fashioned with this. I remember people that do me good. They will stay in my heart forever. And and the other thing, I did semis in doubles with Magda Rybarikova, and I'm in the last 8 cup in Wimbledon. So nobody would have thought, but I am.
I did not know that.
You see?
So you have the little badge and everything?
Well, I don't know. Do you get a badge?
Yeah, you should do.
I mean, I get an extra ticket and an extra accreditation, and I feel very important, and that's all I need in my life, to feel loved and important.
And money, and food, and...
I don't need
But the
food.
British food is not like the best, I'm sorry to tell you.
You can't diss my food and my country. So, generally you're feeling good then? You're feeling ready for
I think so, yeah. I've been playing well. I'm very happy that I came into French Open with almost no matches at all, and now I had 5 really good matches, and also the match against Carla and the match against Katarina today. They were tough ones, and I think those are the matches that really prepare you on a surface where you have tough moments, where the other one's playing really well, you're trying to fight against it. Today I didn't do so well against Carla. I did much better. I managed to come back from 2-5 in the third, so I think they will give me confidence, and I'm ready, and we'll see what happens. I'm unfortunately no fortune teller, but I have a good feeling so far.
Do you look at the draw when it comes out? We've been asking people whether they look at the draw, whether they just like go in blind and have no idea they're playing the next day.
Well, I'm very pragmatic about that. I always just look at who I play first, but I'm not the type of player who goes, don't tell me. I'm just if somebody tells me, 4th round you're going to play Serena, or 3rd round I'm like, oh, okay, I don't mind it I don't mind to know it, but I'd rather just focus on the next step ahead, you know, because you remember as a child when you saw something you wanted to run there, you were a child. maybe not a normal child, but that's not to debate.
It takes people a long time to
But
realise
when you
that.
see something and you want to reach it and you run and of course you fall down and you're like and you cry and your mom has to hold you and you're bleeding from your nose. That was me because you don't focus on the next step that you have to take.
Yeah.
And now we are not children anymore. We have to focus on the first step, right?
Right.
Well, now you got a seed.
Yeah.
But if it wasn't, there was a whole bunch of really good players that generally are seeded or are very dangerous on grass. They're not
That's
a
true.
seed.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
what do you think about this moment in tennis where it seems like everything is a bit mixed up?
Well, it's a very interesting. It's a really interesting time, and especially because I was around when. Before my injuries, I think it was 2010, 2011, where everything was kind of a little steadier. I almost never lost first round. I don't think I ever had in that year, 2011. When you were seeded, you kind of knew, that you had good chances if you play a good level of tennis. And nowadays, even if you play a good level of tennis, that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to win, especially on grass, on such a tricky surface. And there are always players like Pirankova who always does well on grass, Dark Horse or something. I mean, there are always these type of players. Coco, Van de Beek. I mean, there are always Ekaterina. Also, she's not going to be seeded, I guess. So that's the first round nobody wants, So, yeah, it makes it more interesting but more stressful for us players.
I was going to say, Caro's not seeded.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Vesnina's not seeded.
Oh,
Puig is not seeded.
Puig is not seeded,
Yeah.
you see?
And now you're a seeder. You're going to be looking at the door like, oh man.
I should have maybe not been a seed. Well, we will see. Yeah, you see, those are all the types of player. It's just, yeah, I think it's a very interesting time for the WTA, but a very stressful time for us players.
Oh, okay.
You always have to be on your toes.
I mean, like,
Go on, go.
last week I was in Mallorca and...
Oh, you were there? How was it? Was it nice? Yeah? Was nicely organized?
Yeah, very nice.
But the grass was a little different than in England, right?
I think not much the grass, but
Okay.
I think it's because of
The temperature.
the temperature.
Yeah,
So the
yeah,
ball jumps a little higher.
Okay.
But I think it's because of the temperature. 'Cause the grass is... I mean, like, expecting it to go green. I mean, like, yellow.
Yeah.
I mean, like, just confused.
Because
but
of
no,
the sun,
it was
yeah,
actually
yeah.
very good.
Okay.
But that was not the topic.
Okay,
I was
sorry.
thinking.
I always change the frame of questions.
it's
It's
good.
my hobby.
No, but talking to Sevastova, she said that she likes this moment in the WTA because it's more exciting. Because she's
Yeah.
like the men, they always go Murray,
Yeah.
Djokovic.
And in the I also like it. As I said, I just, for me, I feel like if I compare it to the years before, it's just more stressful because from the first round you are kind of stressed and that takes a lot of energy, and that's why I think also a lot of top players lose sometimes earlier just because it takes more energy in the first rounds. You can never just go in and think to yourself, I'm going to win the first 2-3 rounds even if I don't play so well. Everybody knows, and that creates stress and that creates pressure. Because you have to be on your best level at each moment, and I think that costs a lot of energy. And winning a Grand Slam is really something special now. And I think it's. I mean, for me, I love to see Angie win. I love to see Gabi win. I like those moments, but yeah, there are always, but it's always like this, right? When Novak wins everything, there are always people saying, "Oh, it's so boring. Give me somebody else." And then when there is a chaos, they're like, "Oh, there is nobody who is leading the bunch. There's a chaos. What is going on?" So you will always find something to complain about.
Do you think, though, we could be in a situation where Serena ends the year as the world #1 without having won any of the slams
A
this
single
year?
Grand Slam, that would be very interesting. I would think that Serena will win one slam at least this year. I would put my money on the US Open if I had to.
Say that. Those exact words I was just going to say.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think it's possible. I don't feel comfortable with predicting anything right now at this situation because this just seems so crazy, And then when players like Angie and Garbi, when they win a slam, it's a totally different situation for them. The whole life changes. They have to get adjusted. It opens up chances for other players. So It's a very unpredictable situation right now, so I don't want to get myself into hot waters. At least not in those hot waters.
So we can't
maybe
ask you to
in
come.
other hot waters. But
We can't ask you to come in on our predictions then after
what are your predictions?
Well, we always there's 3 sites that are clubbing together this year, so we could do our predictions. We normally do champion, shocker,
Okay.
dark horse,
Okay.
and then we're going to probably try and do where each country's. So we've got American site, his site, and Italy,
Okay.
and Brit. So where they come. So
Okay.
we'll have you as our guest.
Okay, well,
It is going to be Andrea
that's-
Petkovic on it.
yeah, that would be nice, but I'm not getting into that debate.
With Angie's win in particular, though, does that make slightly older, more experienced players in the tour actually think, you know what, the chance is still there for me?
Yeah, well, also with Flavia Pennetta winning,
Yes.
I think, and especially, but for me, like both Angie and both Flavia, and also Garbi, it wasn't a huge surprise. Of course, it was a surprise, but it was not like they came out of nowhere. Flavia had amazing results in the years before. She was always a force to be reckoned with. Everybody who played Flavia didn't like it. It wasn't a great draw to have. She won Indian Wells. It wasn't like she came out of nowhere. Then Angie, she won so many tournaments. She beat so many good players in the year before. I think she won the Australian Open the year before, not actually at the Australian Open, because a lot of things came together for her at the Australian Open. But she had built a reputation as a top player the years before, and so that wasn't a huge surprise. And we all know that Garbi is going to be a future. Not even a future, that she is a star already, and so it was just a question of when for her, really. So all these 3 players, if you take it, if you look at it in perspective, it's not a huge surprise. Not like there is chaos in the WTA anybody. If my mother picks up a racket and she can win, that's not. It's like you have to build your reputation.
Yeah.
You have to build your status as a player over the years, and then you might win a slam. It's not earned in 1 week or 2 weeks of a slam. It's earned over the years and the work that you've put in, and that's something that's nice to see with all these 3 recent slam winners, I would say.
Where do you think Andrea Petkovic fits in this process?
I would like to know. I'm here to give great insights on life philosophies, and that's probably my role. I don't know, it's just so unpredictable to me, because I don't know, I feel like every time I feel like I have life figured out, it just turns his back on me, because for example, I really thought I'm going to do so well on clay, and I half tanked the grass season in my head, and then I didn't win a match almost on clay, and here I am, I already won 3 on grass, and I feel great, and I'm enjoying myself, and it's it's every day is something new happens, and I guess you just have to go with the flow and try to enjoy it as much as you can.
Okay.
I've got the last one for you.
Yes.
Being an Olympic year,
Actually, yes.
Good one.
how much of light it is to see the Olympics in front of you, and how much of a motivation? Because some of the players say, yes, I mean, like every year you got 4 slams and you go, but then the Olympics is 1 shot every 4.
Yes.
And it's becoming a big thing in tennis as well.
That's true. Well, I'm very excited, but it's a little bit like being excited before Christmas, when you're still, I get back to the child thing, when you're a child, because you don't really know what to expect. I've never been, I don't know how it works. I know only the things that I've watched on TV. I was injured last time, it was in London, which was a pity, but yes, that's how it is. And so I'm kind of excited, but I don't really know what I'm excited for. I want to see the city. I also want to see how all this athletes thing works, and I want to see other competitions, but then it's really squeezed into between all of our tournaments, and we kind of want to be ready, so it's a huge mess. It's a really, really huge mess, so I don't really know what I'm excited about, but I guess I'm excited.
Excellent.
It sums it up, right?
That does it, yeah.
I really...
Will we see the worst doubles in the world?
Oh yeah, we will see the worst doubles in the world.
What, you and...
Me and Angie.
Oh, classic.
The worst.
I'm going to come out and actually watch.
And if you make your predictions on your sides, remember, as a dark horse, the worst doubles in the world, Keep it in the back of your mind.
Do you want me to do it as a special one for you?
You can write
And I'll-
I think you could actually write an essay on the worst doubles of the world.
If I write
the
an
development
essay of the world,
of the worst doubles.
if I
in
do
the
that
world.
and I'll tag you, you have to push it out. And
I
so-
will,
Deal?
of course, yeah.
Deal.
Deal.
Okay.
Bam! I would love
So that's it. What a fantastic interview it is. I mean, like, that was pure gold, wasn't it?
It was amazing. I mean, you know, it's a pleasure actually when you just get to sit down and talk to someone, and you don't feel bad about asking awkward questions. You don't feel bad about sort of like finding out, you know, some of their worst experiences. And from that we got some really good insight. Especially, I found what was really touching was the fact that Wimbledon was the only slam when she came back from those 2 terrible years. The only slam that gave her a wild card, and you know, for that reason, that's got a special place in her heart, which I think actually just shows the kind of person that she is.
It definitely does, and I mean, like, it's great to get someone as genuine, you know, not hiding behind some PR stuff, I would
Yeah.
say. I mean, that's Petkovic, and we got her in the most natural way, and it's just a pleasure to get.
It is. I mean, it's just, you know, you just get a real honest response. You don't get the standard, well, you know, I played my best and I did my best. You know, you actually feel that she was very genuine, that she thought that Makarova really, you know, earned that final win because of the way that she played. And also some insight as to why Makarova is such a danger on grass.
It is, and well, she said it all, you've heard it all. I think put your money on Petkovic and Kerber doing damage at the Olympics, and no, we can't say that. Well, I've said it already, so no, jokes aside, they two are great fun together, and I think the personality matches even more than the game, and I think at the end of the day in doubles sometimes that's what really matters.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, you saw like Federer and Wawrinka win the gold, and you know, neither of the, you know, sometimes when you get 2 singles players playing doubles, it's hilarious because they want to go for everything themselves. There's no communication because they're used to covering the entire court by themselves. You see them clash into each other. It's quite amusing. So I think just for the amusement factor alone, it'll be worth a gold.
Well, on this, I think we can just say a really warm thank you to Andrea for the time she gave it to us, and well, best of luck for Wimbledon.
Perfect.